welcome to the bulky coat, sewing up the seams. Okay, so I've spent a couple days mitigating all of these floats. I have felted them and then I sewed them. I use a walking foot, so it really made short work of these floats. Choose a different punch card if you go to make this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on the the pockets. So I'm going to take the yarn tail for this side and I'm going to sew the pocket top going up to there, and I'm going to use this side and I'm going to go down and then tie them in inside. I'm going to take the yarn tail here, work my way up this way, and this yarn tail here, work my way down. And that'll be today's hand sewing. After that, I will do the second pocket, and then we'll come back and see how we're doing. Okay, so I have now sewn my pockets on both halves here. My goodness, we are tangled. Okay, here's the other front. Okay, nice deep pocket. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on the buttonholes. I have a nice beige thread, and I'm going to pick one of my favorite crochet hooks. Nice and thin. Going to go into stitch 1, grab, pull it through. That's 1. Going into the next one. Going to go forward. 1, into the same one, into the next one, this is the next one. I'm not letting go of the waste yarn until I have these all done. I'm putting 2 chains into each of the stitches. Then I'm going to the next stitch. I'm going to go underneath. That way, turning it, going up, one there, into this one, going to do 2, into the next one, so I have my waste yarn is here, and that stitch not easy to get my hands into here. Okay. Might be here. No, I think I have two. Okay, I have to stop for a minute. I'm into it. One, two. I have to find the next one. Okay. Looks like it's two of them here. One in that one. And one in this one. And then into the next one. All right. I'm going to grab both tails. Going into the next. Next. And going right to the edge. I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing here. Another stitch right there. And that's probably it. Well, actually, I can do some more. Okay. Yeah, this is it. So that just makes sure that that is connected. Everything looks good. Can now take out the waste yarn. And everything should be held. That one's split. All right, I gotta cut this. All right, so this is my buttonhole. I can always make it a little bit neater if I have to. But my button slides right through. And that's what matters. This is all held in. When we go to do the edging will grab onto these yarn tails and we'll be just fine. So there we go. Cool, neat, and tidy. I'm now going to do this 3 more times. It's okay if you mess up the buttonholes. They'll be hidden by the buttons. Anyway, these are the 4 that I did. If you feel that the crochet hook is intimidating, then try a latch tool. Like one for a standard will probably work very, very well. You can see that mine are all secure. And behind the button, you're not going to see it. I'm not worried about it. In the next video, we are going to seam these together. And then we get to do the final edging with the tuck card in 1 by 1. So come back next time and we'll get that done. This is the underarm seams. So what's the plan to seam this up? Well, could we use a linker? No, not really. It's a bulky project. Could we hand sew it? Well, that's what we're going to do. Kind of, sort of. We're going to utilize the bed as our linker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this inside out. And we're going to start with the front to the back. They should match. So which can lay it in my lap. Find the first stitch. Put the first stitch on 50. Find the next long stitch. Put that at 49. And that's all you want to find are just the long stitches. Remember, the good side is to you on the first piece that you put on the machine. I don't think you can even see what I'm doing, but that's okay. We're just finding the long stitch and hanging it on the machine. As you get going, the long stitch will actually pop up and have the bigger hole. If it feels like it's going to come off the needles, just push them forward. We are going to use the coconut cream yarn to do the seaming because the coconut cream is what was on the edges. So color 2. You're asking yourself, how did I mitigate all of the yarn floats? Well, I actually quilted my piece. Do I suggest doing that? No. But I was desperate. Like I said, choose a different punch card. This one is awful. Okay, I think you kind of get the thought process here. I'll let this off my lap. Tuck in all my yarn floats. And we'll come back when I have the other piece ready to go. Alright, you can see I've used almost the entire bed. And this is the cuff. How does that happen, you ask? We had 105 rows for the up to the armhole. But a stitch is a rectangle, it's not a square. And we're hanging every second stitch. So the entire underarm of the sweater fits on the bed. It's weird, but it works. Now I need to figure out this one. This one I'm starting at here, and this one goes there. All right, same maneuver. You find the longest stitch and you hang it up. Oh, well, that one's weird. This is it. And then this one's it. Every now and then you might have a weird one, which happens. All right. Here we have our armhole. This is the coconut cream. This is the second one. There's a lot of weight on the back here. That should help reduce the stress. You get the idea as to what I'm doing. We'll come back when it's time to seam it up. Okay, so now what am I going to do? Well, it's really, really easy. I'm going to find my coconut cream, which I have somewhere. Double eye transfer tool. Push these all back if you want to. I prefer to end at a base seam, like the main seam at the bottom. One, 2 yards of yarn. Now, really, really easy. Hanging on to this one. We're going through both stitches. leave about 6 inches. Go between the next two. Pull them down a little bit. And you're basically just sewing it together. Down between, pull it down, in between, and off you go. Try not to pull too hard because you haven't locked in that yarn tail. I find this way easier than trying to guess. And if you have a hard time seeing, open the stitch and pull it through. Let your machine do most of the work for you. When you get a little ways, pull it tight. And that's how easy speed sewing is, using a bulky. Could you do this with a standard? Sure. But that's why I own a linker. All right, you get the idea as to what I'm doing. We'll come back when this is all done. Okay, we're getting close to a place where we have yarn tails that we can actually tuck in. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it a little bit tighter. And we're just going to weave yarn 1 towards the sleeve cuff, and this is yarn 2 towards the bottom. Oh, I'm missing my other clip. Oh, there it is. All right, now that they're clipped, we just continue Oop, sorry about that. All right, we are going to leave this closest one forward, in between, going through this one, my yarn's being crazy. Close the latch, go through all of them. Latch. may not look very neat at this moment, but the underarm seam will be nice and neat, and you don't have to weave as many yarn tails as we do over here. Just two more. This one's a support. And then I continue. I think I have to untwist my yarn here. Oh yeah, there we go. Is it in bad mood? I think you kind of get the idea of what we're doing, so I'm just going to continue and then we'll see the final seam. Okay, you're done this first seam. I'm just going to cut this yarn tail. Chuck that in the garbage. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. How does this seam look? Well, like this. To me, that's just fine. It looks good to me. So, I'm now going to sew the next side seam, and then we'll get ready for the edging. Okay, this is side 2. It's all done. I'm just going to close the latches here. And it's done. So now we're on the edge. Fetch that later. To turn this inside out. I'm going to push all of these stitches back to A position. Now we'll take a quick little look. So here's our coat. Buttonholes. This side will have the buttons. We have our pockets. They look really, really good. And so we just have to do the edging. And for that, we need this punch card, and we need to do a tension swatch. So, next video, tension swatch, 1 by 1, tuck. Tension swatch number 2 is up next.